Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. Today I'm going to break down my entire 4x5 camera setup, everything I keep in my camera bag, the bag itself, what I'm using, how I use it, and how I organize everything, sort of a mini review of the bag. And then also the tripod head, and even some video gear since I recently did a video shooting some 4x5 out at the Leo Petroglyphs. It's just down the road from Chillicothe, Ohio. I had a few people ask me like what video gear I brought with me, how I filmed that video. So yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that stuff here today. And we're filming this in the studio in our office space. The guys that are usually in here working and shooting every week are all working remote. So yeah, thanks guys. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the tripod. This is the WANDRD TMA47AXL Mach 3 tripod. Everyone knows that name. Everyone's heard that name a bunch. You know, people talk about it all the time. It's a really catchy name. I bought this tripod specifically to be the last tripod I would ever need to buy when it comes to large format or any bigger camera. This thing, the height that this thing can reach is just, it's overkill for sure. The weight capacity that this thing can hold also is overkill. My Chamonix 45N2 is a really light 4x5 camera. This is definitely not needed for that camera, but I wanted to buy something that I would never feel like I needed to upgrade. I would never be wondering, well, maybe if I had something with a little more reach or something that could hold a bit of a heavier camera. If one day I decide to shoot with a different 4x5 camera that might be heavier or eventually an 8x10, because let's be honest, that's probably gonna happen at some point. I wanted to have a tripod that no matter what, it can handle it. And the tripod head, this is the WANDRD GD3WH. This is a geared head. It controls all of your different axes with a really slow and precise geared movement. I saw this in a video that Todd Coral posted. He has a great YouTube channel on large format. He was a really good resource for me as I was looking for more info on the Chamonix. I saw him using this geared head. I looked it up and it seemed great. And so far, I absolutely love this thing. I was gonna just use a ball head tripod when I first got my 4x5 camera, but for whatever reason, even though I see people do it all the time, it's really difficult for me to compose with a 4x5 camera using the ground glass without anything like this. Having a ball head where everything is just free to move around, it was hard for me to like really get everything nice and straight and level. Having something like this where every single axis that you're controlling, you just have a really slow, precise movement, it just feels really, really good to use this thing. It was a little bit expensive, but definitely worth it for me, as well as the tripod. It wasn't a cheap tripod at all, but like I said, I wanted this to be the last tripod I would really need for any kind of serious photo work. Now, typically, if I'm gonna go out and shoot with this setup, I'm not gonna attach this to the camera bag. One, it's a bigger tripod, so it doesn't really attach that easily, but it's also not that heavy, so just carrying it, it works totally fine. The one tripod though, that will attach really easily to the bag, it just basically fits in a water bottle sleeve. This is the Peak Design carbon fiber travel tripod. This is totally capable of supporting my Chamonix 45N2, so if I really wanted to, I could just throw this on the side and have everything I need in and on this one bag. But I don't mind the extra weight in carrying this by hand, because having something this solid, especially with the geared head, it's definitely worth it. But this tripod I bring specifically when I'm going to make YouTube videos. So the video that I filmed out at the Leo Petroglyphs, this was great when I wanted to throw the camera on the tripod. It's so quick to use this thing, and it's just, I've never been this excited about a tripod. I mean, I love this, but this is really specifically for my large format, and maybe even if I wanted to throw, you know, one of my other cameras on here, I could. But I really bought this for 4x5 with the geared head and the slow movements. Quick run and gun, just need a tripod to take with you and throw in the bag. I love this thing. But if I'm not gonna be filming a video, I'm not gonna throw that in there because it's only gonna be used if I'm filming a video that day. Now the bag itself, this is the WANDRD PRVKE 21 liter bag. Huge shout out to two people specifically. Number one, Sarah Stellino. I've mentioned her in a video before when I first talked about picking up this bag. She's the one who told me about it when I asked for some bag recommendations. She has the same camera I do, and she's like, you know, I've been using this for a long time. works great. And then Cameron from WANDRD actually reached out when he knew I was interested in picking up one of these things, and Cameron sent this out to me just free of charge as a gift because he's a subscriber of the channel. So huge shout out to those two. I've been really enjoying this bag. I've only used it for 4x5, so I haven't used it as a daily carry bag or going on assignment, doing photos or portraits. This has only been used for 4x5, but so far it's working out really well. The bag itself is made super nice, really nice durable materials. All the hardware feels really good, really great stitching, sort of the weather resistant lining over top of the zippers. I mean, this thing is definitely a very technically sound kind of bag. On this side of the bag, like I mentioned, you have basically the area for a water bottle, or in this case, the travel tripod. So this just slides in right here on the bottom, and then the two clips right here on the side. It is adjustable, so if you had something bigger or smaller, you can kind of tighten it up there, but really this thing fits totally fine. But if I'm not gonna be using it, the nice thing about these little kind of pockets right here is with the zipper, you can actually keep it with a nice, really slim, low profile, which is a nice touch, not a big deal, but still, it is nice. This big front zipper of the bag, you have tons and tons of room in here. It goes from the bottom all the way to the top. All I have in here is basically this little think tank cable management tin version 2. I've got ND filters, USB-C charger for my microphone, extra mic cables. Basically, this is just for if I'm out shooting a video while I'm out shooting 4x5, but that just slides in right there. Again, plenty of room in this pocket, but that's all I really need it for. On the other side of the bag, you have a couple more pockets, a little slim, kind of small pocket right here. There's also another pocket similar to that up here at the very top. This would be great for like really quick, kind of everyday carry kind of stuff. But I don't really use either of these specifically for 4x5, so those are empty. And then you also have this little quick access door right here. So if you had, you know, sort of an everyday carry kind of camera right here, you could basically throw the camera bag around your side, open this up and pull the camera out. I'm not really doing any kind of really fast, like pull out and shoot kind of photos with my 4x5. Very poor choice of words, let's keep it moving. On the back of the bag, the straps themselves are super well padded, as well as the back itself, really comfortable to use. You've got all these different loops if you want to hook a water bottle or your keys, really anything at all, you can do that. Plus there are these little straps that attach here and here, so if you wanted to have basically across the chest for more stability, those are included. I just keep those tucked in one of these little side pockets that I'm not using. On the top of the bag, these two little handles right here are just held together with magnets, so that way they kind of stay together. They say wander more, worry less. Very cute, very nice. Basically on the top of the bag you have this sort of roll top compartment. So if you open these up, undo the little hook right here, which is adjustable, all of the top will actually completely roll open, so you can see if you really need it. You've got plenty of extra storage right here. This all opens up, so if you wanted to stuff a jacket, a sweatshirt, extra pair of shoes, whatever, throw it in there, and then really at any amount of capacity, this thing will swing up and just lock in to one of these hoops, keep it nice and secure, and there you go. Now the main portion of the bag, this is where I keep the camera and really all of the essentials for large format. So when you open the bag up, obviously the back part right here, there's a laptop sleeve, an iPad sleeve, little small kind of zippered pockets. It would be great for chargers, cables, dongles, that sort of thing. Large format wise, this is not really that full. I've got a cable release in this little zippered pocket right here. I've got a little self-timer attachment for the shutter, so if my cable release goes bad and I need a spare, or if I want to do self-portraits, group photos with me and other people, these things are a lot of fun and super handy to have in the bag. Other than that, I think all I have, a tool for the tripod, as well as some little spiked feet if I want to swap those out for the rubber feet on the bin row. That's really all I keep in this portion of the bag. Again, I don't really take full advantage of this compartment, but I would rather have extra space if I need it rather than be completely maxed out. This is a new dark cloth that I've recently bought. This is from, I believe it's called Beyond the Zone System, a guy named Fred Newman. I just recently picked this up. A lot of photographers that I respect and admire, they've sang the praises of these dark cloths, and so far I like it for a number of reasons, and I'm a little frustrated with one thing. Basically, it has a really nice black interior, so it keeps it nice and dark, with this really white reflective exterior. It's nice and breathable. You've got Velcro all the way from here up to essentially right at the very back end. So once you put this thing on the camera, put your head inside here, you can basically close up the entire bottom, and it keeps it really, really nice and light tight. The only issue I've had with this so far is that the elastic is really, really tight. I might just need to stretch this over like a big picture frame or something and let it sit for a little bit to break in the elastic and kind of loosen it up. Essentially, if I have this on the rear standard of my Chamonix so that it's staying in place, if it goes a little bit too far, which it doesn't have that much room to grab on anyway, if it goes a little bit too far and slips, then it's going to go forward and essentially cinch down on the bellows of my camera. This has happened a couple of times. I haven't really damaged the bellows as a result of that, but I really don't want my bellows being crumpled up. So maybe it just needs to break in, I'm not sure, but other than that, I really like this dark cloth opposed to, you know, just like a big blanket or towel or something like that. When it's not in use, I just fold it or crumble it up and just put it right here on the back of the camera, so that way it adds another level of protection. I've got padding all around the inside, plus this, plenty of padding around the camera just to keep it safe. Now in this compartment of the bag, you actually have an insert that is completely removable, but I've went ahead and attached it with this little kind of loop and elastic Velcro system that they have to keep it in place. Plus I've added a couple little Velcro straps on the other ends just to add extra padding on the bottom and keep it nice and secure. On this side, I have my Minolta Spot Meter F. This is the meter I use specifically for large format. And then I've also got this Rodenstock loop as well. Both of those just sit in this little side compartment. And then in the main compartment is the Chamonix 45 N2. Obviously, it's all folded up completely right now, but it just sits nicely in the main compartment. I'm not using a divider or anything like that for my loop and meter. They just sit kind of nice and tight in this little spot right here, and that seems to be working just fine. This compartment of the bag is actually where you have access to the roll top as well, so it's nice that if you don't want to actually unroll this whole thing, if you're just throwing the camera bag down and working out of it like this, which most of us are, it's nice that you have access to everything here. So the first thing that I keep in here is all of my film holders in a Ziploc gallon bag. This just keeps any dirt and debris off of the film holders. The last thing I want is to kind of mix in anything like that with my film, so keeping it in a little Ziploc bag, super simple, but definitely very handy. And then I also have this Domke wrap, which has my Nikon, Nikkor, I should say, 150mm f5.6 lens. This is the only lens I currently own for my Chamonix 45 N2. I'd like to get a 90mm sometime soon, because basically every time I go out to shoot large format, I tell myself, yeah, this isn't wide enough. I really love the 35mm focal length for everyday stuff. So when I go out to shoot with something a little bit tighter than that, it's a little bit tough. So when I do get another lens, that could easily fit in this other compartment as well, just in another lens wrap that just keeps it nice and secure. And of course, if I ever needed to add more storage, the roll top works perfectly for that. As far as the inside of the bag, that's really about everything though. Like I mentioned, I keep everything right in here underneath the dark cloth, and then folding this up, it all just zips up, and that's really all I need when it comes to getting into the bag and sort of working out of the bag for 4x5. There are other accessories for the bag, some hip padding, a rain cover that you can attach and store in the bottom. Overall, really, really nice bag. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is this thing. Yep, I bought one of these things. As ridiculous as they look, and as much as I'm not that guy with all of the cool tech accessories for his cameras and, you know, all of that. This thing is undeniably very convenient for me when I want to go out and film my YouTube videos while I'm shooting large format. Having another camera to carry with audio equipment and stuff like that, I tried to simplify all of that as much as I could. So the Peak Design travel tripod, obviously, That takes a really small amount of space on the bag itself, and it's really light. Normally this would be the SL2S, but that's what I'm using to film this video. So for instance, the video I did out at the Leo Petroglyphs, I had my SL2S with a 35mm M-mount Summicron adapted there, and I could just walk around and, you know, do it this way. I had my Benro tripod in my hand, and that was the only thing I had to carry unless I wanted to carry the camera over my shoulder, which again, when I would do that, I would simply just throw the SL2 right here, throw it over my shoulder, and that was fine. And as I'm walking around looking for stuff to shoot, if I saw anything that I wanted to get a quick video clip of, I would just simply set my tripod down, grab the camera, get a quick video clip, and then just throw it back on there and not have to worry about it. Again, I think something like this, just on your everyday carry kind of bag, it looks a little bit ridiculous, but out of necessity and just sheer convenience, it works really well for this one very specific use case. But that's going to do it for this video. If you've been interested in the WANDRD PRVKE 21-liter bag or the tripod that I'm using, or really any questions about the gear that I keep in my bag, even if I'm making videos, hopefully this answered all those questions. But of course, if you have any other questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. If you haven't seen the video I did shooting 4x5 out at the Leo Petroglyphs last week, definitely check that one out. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts and if you'd like to see more of that on the channel. I've been shooting more and more 4x5 lately. I do still shoot a lot of 35, a lot of digital, a lot of Polaroid. So I'm always shooting a variety of different things, but 4x5 has been a lot of fun for me lately, especially all of the hurdles and getting used to the process and wrapping my head around all of it. So it's been a lot of fun. I hope you've been enjoying it. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you're new. I hear that this helps the YouTube algorithm if you do that sort of thing. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. Who knows about the YouTube algorithm? Definitely not me. That's gonna do it for today though. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all of the support. It means the world. We're gonna wrap up today with a word from our sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the best all-in-one platform to build a great looking website. No matter what your skill level is, anyone can build a beautiful website with Squarespace. With all the different templates to choose from and tons of customization options, you can take any template and really make it your own. Whether you're running an email newsletter, an online store, or if you just need a place to show off your website, Squarespace has everything built right into their service. Not only that, but if you have any questions or need assistance with anything, they have 24/7 award-winning customer service. It's never been easier to make a great looking website, and Squarespace is the place to do it. So if you want to try it out for yourself, you can do so entirely free at squarespace.com. But when you're ready to get signed up, go to squarespace.com/MattDay, and that'll get you 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you'd like to see more 4x5 videos, you can click right here.